So ladies and gentlemen, at this time we are about to engage in a very hot fireside chat. Are you ready? Let me hear you say hot. Let me hear you say fire. Fireside chat. And this one is fitting because the gentleman who's going to come to us, he represents the company called Scotch Boyz. Anybody ever hear about Scotch Boyz? Well, you're going to learn more about Scotch Boyz today. So this gentleman is going to join us for our Ready, Set, Motivate session on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome this gentleman who goes by the name Neil Hudson, and he is a co-founder and CEO of Scotch Boyz. And Scotch Boyz is a leading sauce and condiments brand, homegrown. Wanna know Scotch Boyz? Well, if you don't know it, and for those of you online, you're going to go and Google Scotch Boyz, and you're going to want to know Scotch Boyz, ladies and gentlemen. Neil attending the Manning School. Anybody here from the Manning School? And I know people are very particular about the Manning School, you know. The Manning School. So Manning School and later the Wolmer's Boys School. Anybody from Wolmer's in the house? I hear some quiet applause. I see you, Wolmer's. And he then attended the university at the University of Massachusetts in Boston, where he studied political science and international relations. Now, on completing his degree in Boston, Neil missed his home, Jamaica, and his family. Of course, we can't leave out yard. So he moved back home to attend the University of the West Indies, where he studied a bachelor in law. It was while there, he realized that his childhood friend, he wanted to form a business with his childhood friend, Drew Gray, and he entered a barbecue competition in Kingston just for fun to see who would be the best master griller. You know, people do things for fun all the time. I never know where it will take them. But this cooking with Scotch bonnet peppers brought them in, gave them this idea, and guess what? They called themselves the Scotch Boyz. Now, long after the competition, little did they know that this would birth the idea of a sauce. So, the sauce that they created, they bottled it, and they sold it, and they got lots of traction. And the brand can now be found in select supermarkets, not just in Jamaica, and this is a big deal, so prepare your hands for that big round of applause. Not just in Jamaica, but in the Bahamas, in Canada, in Europe, online, all over, targeting more than 600. Wanna know Target, the big store foreign? Wanna know Target, the store with the red dot on something? You can find Scotch Boyz there, which means it is a big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please help me welcome Mr. Neil Hudson. And we're gonna have a conversation this morning about the business.
We searched the nation to find the next black millionaire. We've received hundreds of applications.
Pass the mic, I'm ready.
I have to win.
Failure isn't an option.
If you cannot bring the return, get out of the way, like somebody else come and do it.
This is the first of a new generation of entrepreneurs.
It doesn't take a lot to get on the show, but it takes a lot to stay.
Let's see who has what it takes to rise to the next level.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Neil Hudson from Scotch Boyz. So firstly, let me start off with the idea of Scotch Boyz. So, I mean, we got an essence of how it came about, but when did you really know this is the direction you wanted to take?
So, hi everyone, really great to be here. Again, I'm Neil, and thank you, Javon. So, we entered a barbecue competition, and we did really well, and we named ourselves Scotch Boyz because we're cooking with Scotch bonnet peppers for our secret sauce. And some months after the barbecue grill off, people would always ask me, Neil, can you make the sauce again? You know, I know he could chat, but I never know he could cook. So when I, would give the sauce away to my friends, my cheapest friend paid me for it. And I said, well, if him going to buy it, then maybe we'll have a business here. So then I went back to my friend Drew, who did the barbecue competition with, and we decided we're going to bottle this and brand it and try to bring the best flavors of Jamaica to a global audience. And that's how Scotch Boyz was born. And
you're certainly doing that. So let's just describe Scotch Boyz and the kinds of products that you have on offer now. And what would you say is your business philosophy?
So Scotch Boyz is a sauce brand. So I have a Scotch bonnet sauce, a jerk sauce. My favorite is a honey Scotch bonnet. And we're really proud that everything that goes into the bottle is sourced locally in Jamaica. So we're sourcing all our ingredients from small farmers throughout Jamaica. And we're really proud of where we are now. So we're in 600 stores in Europe. We're in 200 stores in Canada. We're in over 600 stores in Target, and just continue to grow the brand. So our business philosophy, in short, is, I know we want for rich. like as Scotch Boyz grows, I want the community to grow with us. So a part of our proceeds we give back to a local school in Westmoreland. And I noticed I am actually from Westmoreland, you know, and I didn't take a plane to come here.
You didn't take a plane or the ground plane?
Not from Westmoreland.
I know that's what they call the transportation in Westmoreland. It's true? Ground plane, the small buses, not true? Or a bike taxi. But you did take a plane to come, and we're happy that you're here.
So again, just in short, we really want to ensure that the community benefits from Scotch Boyz' growth, and we're able to do that because we're exporting. We're selling in a first world market with a large economy. We can sell our sauce for a premium, which we necessarily can't sell for in Jamaica, given the market dynamics. So we want to ensure that the community grows as Scotch Boyz grows.
What would you say you want to be known for, and why?
So I want Scotch Boyz to be known internationally. I want Scotch Boyz to be the red stripe of sauce. And I want to be the person that makes that happen.
And can we expect a Scotch Boyz listing one day on the Jamaica Stock Exchange?
Possibly. Not in the works for now. We're continuing to grow the brand, but down the road might be something we're exploring.
If you had to isolate 3 key factors that helped you to grow the company nationally and, of course, now expanding globally, what would you say those 3 key areas are?
Okay, great question. I'd say it's our branding, our storytelling, and tenacity. So we wanted to brand something that looked as great on the outside as so represented, so it would taste as good once you tried it. So the branding would just make you want to pick it up off the shelf. We are proud of all the elements on it, from the little pepper flame in our logo, which was what we took off of the apron when we had that barbecue competition, to the small Jamaica flag, which you have on the bottle, which I had to go up to the office of the Prime Minister to get permission to put that flag on the bottle. Really thrilled about that. And storytelling. So I find that I want the bottle to tell the story, but I want to get behind the bottle and step up behind the product and tell the story, what we're doing, why this is important to us, why we're trying to, you know, create wealth. You know, I love what UNDP does, but all of the lofty goals, 2030 goals, all the ambitious goals, they have to be financed somehow, and that takes money. And you're only going to generate money from commerce and selling. And I would say tenacity. You know, not giving up. Just not, you know, I remember I went to New York to meet with a distributor, and he sat me down for 3 hours and told me this would never work. And, you know, now we're in thousands of doors. You know, I've gotten the product in tens of thousands of hands. And that same distributor is calling me to say, boy, Neil, how do you get to the target? Can you give me the bus? Mm-hmm. So, you know, I just think that the same level of thinking that got someone there won't necessarily work for you. So just don't give up. If you believe in what you're doing and it's honest and there's a path, believe in yourself. So it's, again, just branding, storytelling, and tenacity.
A number of companies across Jamaica, they have products that are really good, but they've not managed to do the kind of expansion that you've been able to do. What do you think is that differentiating factor? And for persons who may be in the room with ideas that could venture out or want to venture out, what is that holy grail that would help them to make that next step?
I'll say 2 things. I'll say saying no. There are a lot of jerk sauces on the market, and people wanted us, but they wanted to put us in the same stores where other Jamaican products were already available, which is fine, but I didn't want to solve the problem. I wanted to go into what's a white space. So Scotch Boyz wanted to brand itself and sell to a mainstream American audience because I them have the money. So when people wanted us in certain avenues, we said no. And another huge thing that really helped us is, are you familiar with the brand Shea Moisture, the hair care brand? Yeah, man. So Richie Lou Dennis, very successful. He had Shea Moisture. He sold it to Unilever, which makes Dove soap, big company. And he took $100 million to try invest and give back in the next set of black entrepreneurs. The Scotch Boyz was one of the winners of a competition called the Next Black Millionaire program, and we won a $100,000 grant, mentorship, exposure. So he always says, you know, the revolution must be financed. The more of us that look like each other, that are successful, the better off we all will be, the more safe we all will be. And he just mentored Scotch Boyz and gave us the exposure and the language to make a successful pitch to get into a major retailer like a Target. So The Shea Moisture team has really helped Scotch Boyz, as well as Richie Lou Dennis's fund, the New Voices Fund. They've really accelerated Scotch Boyz' growth and provided us with a platform to tell our story, that we can get into retail, that we can make money, that we can help build Jamaica. So again, that in turn, one day, I hope to repay the favor and help mentor the next crop of businesses and entrepreneurs that want to pursue their own path.
I mean, you spoke about the importance of community, and that clearly is something you're passionate about. So talk to us about some of the things you are doing in your community now to help to enrich youth and to share ideas and thoughts about how they can develop themselves. And I mean, today's focus is on poverty, so how they can also pull themselves out of poverty.
So, I think as I've been reflecting on the term since I've been asked to do this, like youth poverty, right? So when you take a step back, like, you can't blame the youth them, like, you're never born working, right? Like,
you know, choose which way you're born.
Exactly, you didn't choose where you're born. It's not like the kid. So to say like a child must pull himself out of poverty, what you want him to do, like go work at Mega Mart? It's like, it doesn't work like that. So you have to look at like what is the wider economy in which the child is born. What caused the parents to have poor children. So with that, it seems overly said, but I truly think entrepreneurship is the path that's really going to change. And I think it's just one entrepreneur. You look at like Michael Lee Chin, who, I love his story. He only had enough money to go university for 1 year, came back to Jamaica, got an interview with the Prime Minister, who then paid for the rest of his years at university. And then in turn, when he was successful, he paid for several of my CXC subjects. So I think it's going to be entrepreneurship. So what is Scotch Boyz doing? There's a small school in Westmoreland, St. Paul's Primary. We're doing as much as we can to help them. So we're starting a small program where we're helping them with agricultural initiatives so they can grow peppers. And recently we completed the building of a covered walkway for the school, because the main building and the bathroom is a separate building, maybe about 300 feet apart. So when it rains, the kids can't use the bathroom without getting wet. So, because of Scotch Boyz' success and because of the profit, we're able to give, again, my co-founder Matthew leads that initiative, but give back to that school. We're able to cover the walkway for them, and that's really important to us.
Well, I wish we could. Of course, I see somebody itching to give a round of applause, and you absolutely can. And I hope you have a few questions to ask as well, because we're going to come to that in a moment. Why I wish we had so much more time to talk all morning. But as we look to wrap up, I wanted to ask, what if there's one thing you'd say to a budding entrepreneur in this room or in our virtual room, what would you say to them?
I'd say, don't make nobody treat you like breadback. I'd say this, truly, like, believe in yourself, be committed to your goal, don't let anybody take you for an idiot, because I think, when I take a step back, where you look at youth poverty and the challenges that Jamaica has and, that the world has with poverty, I really believe that the same level of thinking that got us here won't get us to the next stage. So be careful of who you're picking as your mentors, because they necessarily don't have the vision. They just can't see the path forward. And you look at, all the successful people in Jamaica, the successful people in the world, just believed in their dreams and made it happen. So believe in yourself, be committed, and seek mentors that are encouraging and will help actually pave the path for you, instead of trying to roadblocks and tell you what's possible from what's not possible.
Sound advice. Sound advice. So, with the help of my co-hosts, any questions? I need some questions from the audience, and I see someone here with a question. So let me see if we can get a microphone to you. Or let me come down to you in the meantime then, so we can have you ask your question.
Yes, thank you. I'm Marcia Hall, Research Officer at the African Caribbean Institute of Jamaica, Jamaica Memory Bank. And we document Jamaica's tangible and intangible cultural heritage. The Jamaica Memory Bank also documents via audio and visual recordings aspects of Jamaica's social history. So I have observed your trajectory since New Voice Families and New Voice Fund. I want to ask, how important is the Afro-Caribbean culture in shaping your business ethos?
So, excellent question, right? So it touches on two things. We're bottling the flavors of Jamaica, and Jamaica's motto is out of any one people, but one of our big sellers is jerk. And I said it before, like, jerk is representative of the history of Jamaica. I firmly believe that you shouldn't be able to sell jerk unless it is branded and solely sourced and manufactured in Jamaica. And everyone knows that jerk, the best jerk in Jamaica is in Portland, and that is coming from the history of the Maroons. So the jerk is the story of slavery, oppression, survival, how the slaves used to cook with the pimento wood underground. So of course it's very important, you know, being Jamaican, being proud to represent brand Jamaica, being a black Jamaican, you know, that is extremely important. And then, you know, another note, interestingly enough, Richie Lou Dennis, he's trying to create like a global black economic forum, which really links just, you know, all the black people in the world to really strive and have a lot of economic success. So he is originally from Liberia, and, you know, he took what his family's product is, shea butter and shea moisture, and sold it for close to $1 billion. And I think I'm doing something similar where I'm taking jerk and trying to expose it to the unexposed audience in the States and beyond. So yeah, it comes full circle. It's very important to us on our brand.
Thank you so much for your question. We have any other questions in the audience?
Hi, good morning. I'm Cavell Hilton, CEO and founder of STEM Builders Learning Hub, and I have quite a few questions to ask you. You mentioned that NCB actually was integral in terms of paying for your subjects and stuff, so I'm guessing you did the business subjects in school?
I didn't do the business subject, you know. I paid for, I think, your English and your math.
Right, math and English.
Oh,
yeah.
So what are the subjects that you actually did in school, and when did you realize that you wanted to become an entrepreneur? And was there ever a time when you thought, like, wow, maybe this is not for me? And also, do you provide mentorship for young people?
So at what point did I decide I wanted to be an entrepreneur? So I wanted to be two things. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I wanted to be, you know, a runner. But Usain Bolt was my age, so I realized that wasn't the path. So after going to school in the States, I moved back to Jamaica, and I went UWE Law. And just candidly speaking, I just realized that, you know, the salary I would have gotten as an attorney couldn't do much. It couldn't do much necessarily for me. And I ran into my UWE professor, and I won't name her, but I talked to her. I was like, boy, you know, things looking rough. Like, I have to go Norman Manley. It's very expensive. I'm not sure how I can do this. It's like, Neil, you know, walk me through your plan. What you want to do? I said, you know, I want to be an attorney. I want to help Jamaica grow. I want to create good policies. I think I have a voice to contribute. And again, I don't want to dissuade anyone from their path, but what she said to me, I'll never forget. She said, Neil, the best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. Yeah. So I say that. So I didn't go on. I didn't go on to Norman Manley. I decided I was going to chart a new path, and luckily it has, you know, I've had some progress. But you ask if there's any day I wanted to quit, maybe twice a day, you know? But I want to continue winning 10 times a day, and that's what keeps me going on. And again, I have a good team. I have a great support network with my family, my friends, my co-founders, so we're all encouraging. So I've said it before, the good thing about Scotch Boyz is that there are 4 of us, and luckily enough, all 4 of us haven't wanted to quit on the same day.
All right, thank you so much.
Mentorship, yeah, sure. So anyone who's interested in mentorship, you know, reach out to me on Instagram at Scotch Boyz. Happy to take any time to coach anyone. I've been helped, and I look forward to helping anyone else who's interested.
All right, and we have one last question. Go ahead, Neville.
Hi. Just to piggyback off of the lady in pink's question, as a young person that grew up poor, how would you, as a established businessman, say the best way forward for a young person to get out of poverty? Because I can say for myself, a lot of people here might be the first to be the one to step forward and initiate the process of building generational wealth. So what would you, as an established businessman, say is the best way forward for them? You said that the best thing you can do as a person in your position is not be a poor person. So for me now, who don't have it right now, how would I become, like, you know, no longer poor, to speak?
What are you doing right now?
I am a nursing student at NCU.
Okay. All right. So it is difficult. The one thing that I found that worked for me was I tried to be better than everyone. So I didn't go from a rich family by any means at all, but but I always found I was sharper than everyone else because I was always reading, I was always trying to be better, always trying to be smarter. So when opportunities came, I was able to take advantage of them. That's the one thing I would say. You have to be sharp. You have to study because, quite frankly, one of the challenges we face in Jamaica is that a lot of fronting go on. When good opportunities are available, we're not really operating on a pure meritocracy. It's, who knows who. But if you are by far a standout in your field, you're better than everyone else, opportunities will arise. And I do feel that there are still opportunities where you'll be tapped on the shoulder if you're the best in your field.
All right, thank you so much for those very, very profound words, Mr. Neil Hudson from Scotch Boyz. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him, sharing some very profound thoughts. And of course, you'll be here throughout, so of course you'll be able to interact with him and hear lots more. You can ask questions and so on, but thank you so much. And for those of you online, I don't see those questions yet because I guess you have too many to ask. So when you get the chance, go ahead and send them in the chat and we'll of course get them to you. So.